Welcome students, and today we will see design of belt conveyor. This is the topic for fifth unit, and the conveyor, out of different types of conveyor, belt conveyor is popularly used conveyor in food industries. So conveyors are used, as we know that they are used to convey food materials or any produce from one end to another end. Okay, so and sometimes it can be vertical conveying or horizontal conveying. So belt conveyor are mostly used for vertical conveying, or might be it can be used for inclined conveying, but the efficiency of belt conveyor will reduce as we are conveying in inclined. So in design of belt conveyor we will see first introduction to belt conveyor. What is belt conveyors? So designing a system for a continuous flow of material, in which belt conveyor is mostly designed to convey in continuous flow of material, and it is going for belt conveyor is a low investment, like initial investment will be high, but after that maintenance cost and all will be low. So it is going for a standard equipment which ensure low investment and flexibility. So belt conveyor ensure the low investment, and it also gives the flexibility in conveying of means our produce. So in belt conveyor we can attach, like we can add one or two more feed to one product, okay, or we can provide a provision of measuring the weight, volume, those things we can do in belt conveyor, okay, and discharge and feeding will be very easy in belt conveyor. And it also, we can also incorporate gravity flow in material flow. When we are dealing with belt conveyor, we can use material flow by gravity also. We can ensure that, and ensuring the ratio of dead weight to the payload of the material handling equipments is minimum. So this is like whenever we are designing any equipment for conveying of material, so we have to check for the ratio of dead load, dead weight and payload of material. Dead weight means in case of our belt conveyor, the dead load will be the belt we are attaching with the weight of the pulleys, okay, and whereas the payload of material will be the material weight we can convey. So those are the ratio. When we are finding out the ratio of dead weight to the payload, it should be minimum at any given point. So then the design of the any conveyor, our belt conveyor will be sufficiently good. Coming to the parameter we have to design in belt conveyor will be dimension and capacity and speed. What should be the dimension, what should be the capacity, what will be the speed, and then after that we will see the roller diameter. Before talking about the parameter, let's see how the belt conveyor works actually. Sorry. Suppose there are two ends, point A and point B, okay, and we have to convey the material from point A to point B, okay. So in case of belt conveyor, one thing we are having is pulleys, okay, or rollers. So these rollers or pulleys will be there, and one of them will be driver pulley and another will be driven pulley or driven roller, okay. Other than that there will be idlers, idlers will be the means they are generally made to overcome the sagging or idlers are generally made to sagging of the material of the belt. If suppose if these idlers are not there, what will happen? Sagging of belt will occur. To overcome this sagging, we will make idlers so that the belt will in tension always. So these will be the idlers. This is belt. Then this driver will be attached to a motor. So this will be the mostly the look for the any belt conveyor, okay, and this can be attached, this can be stand on a stands, okay. So suddenly it will look like this. So this can be stand on some stands, framework will be there. I'll draw framework with other color. Frames will be there. That is again will come in belt conveyor design. So this type frames will be there, so that this system can be kept on a table or on that frame, and it can work, okay. So this is how a belt conveyor looks like. Anyway, this components part we will see further also. And talking about the design parameter, so first will be the dimension, capacity and shape. In dimension, capacity and shape, what we will do, we will find out the width of the belt, okay, what should be the length of the belt, what should be the diameter of the pulley, okay, those things we will try to fix. Then comes the roller diameter, what should be the roller's diameter, okay, then comes the belt power and tension, what should be the power of the belt and what should be the tension, okay, it depends upon the motor. Then comes the idler spacing, what should be the spacing between these two idlers, okay, this will be another thing. Then comes the pulley diameter, so this pulley, what should be the diameter, which then comes the motor HP and all those things. Then which type of driving unit it will be, location and arrangement of the pulleys, where the pulleys and the pulleys will be located and arranged, what should be the control mode, how we are going to control the belt conveyor, either by buttons or by lever system. Then intended application, what is the application of the conveyor, okay. If we are dealing with liquids, then we have to change the this rollers shape, okay, what should be the shape of rollers, okay. If the roller shape is like this, then this we can use for designing of, this will give you this type of shape, okay, conveyors, belt. If we are using two rollers, these are the rollers, and these rollers can be idlers also, okay. If we are putting in a certain angles, then the belt space shape will be like this, okay, and now we can flow fluids through them, okay. So this can be one thing. So what should be, that will come in the roller, and that will also control the application, intent of application. Then what should be the maximum load capacity of an conveyor, of a belt conveyor. So these are the things we are going to see in design parameters. After that we will see the belt dimension, capacity and design. How to find out the belt dimension, how to find out the belt capacity, the design, okay. So very much important in designing the belt, okay, will be the first comes the velocity, what should be the speed of our belt, okay, because everything depends upon the speed of rotation of our belt. Because suppose if we are conveying some boxes and the speed of moving of our belt is too high, what will happen, the boxes will fall down, okay. So if the width of the belt is same, but if we increase the width of the belt, if the velocity is still the same, the box will not fall down, because box will have more area, okay, more space on the belt, so that it can be adjusted itself and it can be transferred from one end to another, okay. So suppose one belt width is this much and we keep a box over it and it's moving with the velocity v. Okay, and same velocity v belt we have same if we keep the velocity same, okay, but now this time we are increasing width. Now we increase the belt width to capital W. Okay, now width is more, product is same. Okay, the chances of falling of product will be where? The chances of falling of product will be more in which belt? It, of course, in this belt the chances of falling will be more high. Okay, so everything depends upon the speed of the belt. If we decrease the speed of the belt, what will happen? Even the product will stay on the belt on this width also. Okay, so everything depends upon the speed of the belt. Okay, it is interrelated. So first we have to find out the speed of the belt, and based upon that we will decide the width of the belt. What should be the width of the belt? So what is the formula to design the width of the belt? Sorry, velocity of the belt. What is speed or velocity of the belt? Equals to d into pi, where d is the roller diameters. D will be the diameter of roller. Pi is the, we know the value of 3.14 is the pi. Okay, pi is pi, v is the velocity of the belt. Okay, that's it for belt speed. Once we will find the belt speed, we will find the belt capacity. Now how much capacity a belt is conveying from one end to another, okay, or how much material a belt can hold on it. Okay, so capacity is the product of speed and belt cross section area. Okay, when we multiply with this speed with the belt cross section area, we will get the belt capacity. So formula is for belt capacity is BC is equal to 3.6 into A into C into density, where A is the belt section area. This is area. What should be the belt section cross section area? Okay, not the cross section area, section area. What is the area for this belt? Okay, total area for this belt. Okay, so that area, and then this is the material density. So here it is not C, it is V. Okay, correct it. Now here C is not there. Okay, so this is the formula for belt capacity, where V is the belt speed in meter per second. Okay, A is the area of the belt. Okay, rho is the density of the material, V is the velocity of the belt. Next come the mass of the material which is flowing from the one end to another. Okay, what is the mass of the material we are carrying? So previously we are talking about volume because density was there, right? So now we are talking about the material mass. Okay, so material mass is denoted by m, small m. Now C was the conveyor capacity we have found out previously. 3.6 is the constant parameter, and V is the belt speed in meter per second. Okay, C is the capacity we have found out from previous equation. From this equation, what is the capacity in kg per second? So this is how we will find out the mass of the material we are conveying from one end to another. Mass of material or live load, whatever we are per meter, how much we are finding. Okay, loaded on a belt. This much material can be loaded on a belt in per meter. Okay, now next comes the capacity in tons. Okay, previously the capacity was in kg per second. But this is not a standard unit. We need capacity in tons per hour. Now we have to multiply. This is just a multiplier factor. Okay, we have to find out the capacity in tons per hour of a conveyor consisting of 3 equal roll idlers as given. So whenever we are designing, we will get like how many roll idlers we are going to design for. Okay, here we assume that 3, okay, or n number of roll idlers we are going to design for. What should be the formula for that? For that, C equals to Ct Cf into rho into velocity by 1000, where C is the capacity in tons per hour, Ct is the capacity toughened belt for 3 roll. What will be the capacity of through belt? Okay, that rho is the material density in kg per meter cube, Cp is the capacity factor, Cf is the capacity factor which we have to multiply with, and V is the belt velocity. Here we have find out, in previously what we have found out, belt capacity, that is toughened belt capacity also, that we call known as toughened belt capacity. Okay, that we will put Ct here, we will put Cf will be the factor, how much factor we are going to see, those factor we will see later, but generally this factor ranges from 1 to 2. Okay, so we can take any value from 1 to 2, or in numericals it will be given from 1 to 2. Cf will be the capacity factor. So rho will be a density of material, we know already, and V is the velocity of the speed of belt, okay, in meter per second. So this is how we will find out, the capacity in tons per hour. Okay, so this is the actual velocity, sorry, actual capacity of a conveyor for which we are conveying. Okay, this is a factor of safety, this is the theoretical which we have find out previously, this is the actual in tons per hour. Clear? So there are some belts which are running horizontally, and there are some belts which are running vertically. Okay, so now the belt running horizontally and loaded evenly, the volumetric belt load is also given as. How to find out the volumetric belt load? Okay, it is given as VL into is equals to LC divided W. Okay, where VL is the volumetric belt load in meter cube per hour. Okay, in meter cube per hour. In 1 hour, how much volume, if we are dealing with liquids, okay, liquid food or powdery material, then we are going to deal with them in volume only. Okay, so for finding out the volumetric load of the material, we have to find out volumetric belt load. Okay, so where VLC we are going to find out, VLC is the load capacity of the belt conveyor in tons per hour, which we already know. What is the capacity of belt? Okay, we denoted with LC, so sorry, BC, we denoted with BC or CT, so this is same. What is the belt capacity? W is the specific weight of conveyor material. Okay, what weight we have find out with previous equation, we have find out the weight, so W will be the specific weight of the material which we are dealing with. Now once we find out the capacity, what should be the dimension, okay, what should be a volume of material we are conveying with, okay, volumetric belt load we find out, okay, total live load we have to find out what is the total live load, that is C, then we have find out belt capacity, then we have find out the velocity of the belt. After finding all those things, we will the belt design is finished. Now we will see the design of rollers. So rollers are used to provide shape to the belt. Okay, so rollers are generally looks like this. And the width on this the belt will be rotating. Okay, or there can be a straight rollers also, and on that straight belt will be there. Or there will be 3 rollers, there can be 3 rollers also. Then the belt will looks like this. So these are the 3 types of rollers we can generally find out. Okay, so how to design these rollers? So for rollers, what is important? Diameter is important. How to find out the diameter of this roller? Okay, so rollers help. A roller supports the belt and facilitate. It supports. What is the purpose of roller? It supports the belt and facilitate easy as well as free rotation of the belt conveyor in all direction. Okay, in any direction rollers will facilitate the easy rotation of belt conveyor, and it also supports the belt. Okay, the correct choice of roller diameter must be taken in consideration the belt width, the relationship between the maximum belt speed, roller diameter and relative revolution per minute is given below. So we have to find out the roller diameter here. Okay, so this we have to find out. Remaining things are just we will get from the practical equations. Okay, so the formula for roller diameter is this, but this is the formula for number of revolution per minute of motor. Okay, how much the number of revolution we are getting at the rollers. Okay, so if suppose if we are taking a motor and we are with the help of pulley we are reducing the RPM of that roller, so at the roller end we will find out what should be the number of rotation of the rollers. Okay, once we will get that number, we already know the belt speed, what is the belt speed, and remaining from that formula we will find out the what should be the diameter of roller. Okay, clear? This pi is 3.14 or 22/7. Clear? So formula for roller diameter is D equals to V into 1000 into 60 N into pi, where N is the RPM or revolution per minute of the motor, V is the velocity of a belt. Once we will find out the roller diameter, there is another formula for roller diameter for belt. Okay, so for that D equals to root over D square into constant, which is 0.00127 into Lg, where D is the overall diameter and small d is the core diameter of the roller, L is the belt length, G is the belt thickness. Okay, now what happens when we find out the roller's diameter? Okay, then there will be an inner diameter of roller also. Okay, and which will influence the overall diameter of roller. So for that time we will use this formula. Okay, when the velocity of the belt was not given to you, at that time we will use this formula when the length and dimension of the belt is given. Okay, so length of the belt on rollers, what should be the length of the belt? Okay, for belt length formula, so for belt length formula, this is the formula where D is the outside diameter of rolls, small d is the diameter of roll center, N is the number of wrap of belt, H is the height center to center, and P is the constant. Okay, so D is the diameter of roller center, this is outside diameter, inside diameter, outside diameter of roller, N is the number of revolution or number of wraps of the belt, and pi is constant. This is how we will get the length of the belt. Now let's come to belt power and tension. So power and tension we find out to determine the size of the motor we are going to attach. Okay, which will help to convey the material. Okay, so which will help to give the motion to the belt. So what should be the size of the belt? So after the diameter of rollers, our next topic which we are going to design is belt power and tension. We are going to design for belt power and tension. This is generally related to the size of motor we are going to attach. Okay, the motor will provide the velocity or the motion to the belt so that we can convey material from one end to another. So this belt conveyor, the power is important to determining the size of the motor. Okay, so the constant here is length of the the constant here is length of the belt. Okay, the size or length of the belt, if it is increasing, the power or the tension on the motor is increasing. Okay, so more the length, more the size of the motor. Okay, and the bigger the motor size will be. So longer the length, more the power required to convey the material. Okay, so another thing is vertical movement. So if the vertical movement of the material is more, then the size of the power is more. Okay, the size of the motor is more because we need more power to lift the material. So vertical distance of the lift will be more, then the higher the magnitude of the power we need it. Okay, so power is given by PP, that is power, which is equals to Fu into V by 1000, where Fu is the total tangential force at the periphery of the driver pulley. Okay, at the periphery, what is the total tension, the force a pulley is facing, that will be the Fu, and V is the velocity at which our belt is going to move. From that we will get the power. Clear? After that we will find out the tension in the pulley or tension in the belt. So tension in a belt conveyor is due to the motion or rotation motion of the motor. Okay, so there plus the weight of the conveyed material, which cause the, because of idlers it caused the tension. So two things, first motion, then the weight, those two things cause the tension in the belt. Okay, so what is the formula for tension? It is equals to TSS equals to 1.37 into F, where F is the coefficient of friction, into L is the conveying length, conveyor length. What is the length of the conveyor? G is the acceleration due to gravity, 9.81, sorry. Mi is the load due to idlers. Okay, what is the load due to idlers? Idler load. Okay, Mb will be the load due to belt. What is the weight of the belt? And this is weight of the material. Then H is the vertical height we are going to take the material. Okay, so this will give you, this formula will give you the tension in the belt. Okay, if we saw it like this, suppose this is our belt on which we are having idlers, two idlers, one will be the pulleys. Okay, so what is the weight of the belt will be given by Mb. This is our material on this. This will be given by Mm. Weight of the idlers will be given by Mi. So this is the height we are going to cover is H. This is the length of the conveyor which are going to achieve, that is L. Okay, G is acceleration due to gravity and L is the coefficient of friction, nothing else. So these are the things which we are going to see, and theta, cos theta is there. Theta is the angle of inclination. Theta will be the angle of inclination of the belt. Clear? This is how we can make the figure if any question will come for find out the tension of the belt. and this is how we will make the figure, and this is how we will determine the tension in the belt. So after finding the tension in the belt, now we are going to design the spacing of the idlers. Okay, idlers or rollers, what should be the spacing between two rollers? Okay, generally the spacing between two rollers are mostly equals to the width of the belt, but there is another formula, that was the thumb rule, that what is the width of the belt, that will be the spacing of the idlers. Okay, that was the thumb rule, but we can find out the spacing of idlers by using this formula, which is equals to 8 into Ts G into m rho 9.8 L e की power minus 3. So where m rho is the mass of the belt or live load on the belt, whatever material we are conveying, that thing, m rho mass of the belt. T is the tension, which we already find out, tension at particular point or whatever point we are measuring, at that point what is the tension. Sg is the percentage of idler spacingly with the tension of the belt. Okay, so Sg will be a constant which we use to find out the spacing. Okay, what will be the constant factor for spacing, that we will find out with Sg. So this will be IS, will be a spacing of what is the space between two idlers in a belt. Or general formula, what we will do, we will do idler spacing equals to belt width. Okay, if all those things are not given, Sg is not given to you, okay, anyway if any question will come, they will give you mass and tension, or they will ask you to find out tension, but normally they won't give Sg. If Sg is not given, then what we do, we will assume that idler spacing equals to the belt width. This will also go same with this formula. Okay, so this is the thumb rule which generally they use in industry for idler spacing, and sometimes they will ask this in GATE also, okay, by using this formula. If they have given everything, then you have to use this. So now what is the size of motor we are going to attach with this belt, okay, belt conveyor? What should be the size of the motor to convey the material? So for that we already find out how much tension, how much power is needed to convey the material. Now we will find out the minimum power for motor. Okay, what is the minimum power needed, which is equals to PP by N. N will be the efficiency of the reduction gear. Okay, what should be the efficiency? Generally it will comes under 0.7 to 0.9. Okay, 70 to 92% will be the efficiency, and PP is the power of driven pulley, which we have already find out. We have seen the formula for PP also. Okay, and from there we will find out the minimum power needed. Okay, this is the minimum power needed, but this is not it. There is another powers also. So for that we find out the HP. Okay, so how to find out HP of the motor which is required? So HP of the motor, here we have done the mistake. HP, it is like this, sorry. HP required equals to HPE plus HPM plus HPJ. So suppose this is our belt again. Okay, let's provide them some elevation also. Suppose one pulley, two pulley, and this is our belt, right? So now we have find out the height also. We know all the tensions or all the forces acting in all the directions, right? So first HP is the power required to move the empty belt. Okay, this belt only. So this is HPE. How much power required to move the empty belt? That will be HPE. Then what is HPM? Suppose we have kept a material with mass m on this, so how much power required to move material on this belt will be the HPm. Now HPj, since we are covering some certain height, okay, so how much height we are gaining, okay, how much elevation we are taking, that will be given by HPj. When we add all those three, HP, empty belt, material and the elevation, we will get HP required. That much energy we needed to run this belt conveyor. Okay, clear? So last slide about advantages and disadvantages of belt conveyor. What are the different advantages and disadvantages of belt conveyor? So one, it is one of the cheapest conveyor, and it is very simple to use and simple to correct. If any defaults will come inside the conveyor, it is very easy to replace. Okay, you can change the elevation at any given point, just you have to increase the height of one end. Okay, you can change the elevation at any end of the point. It is easy, it is not that difficult in this type of conveyor, and it can be loaded from any place along the belt. Like it can be, belt can be loaded from the middle, it can be loaded from the end. Okay, so loading will be no problem in case of belt. Okay, you can choose any point for loading of the material on belt. What are the disadvantages? It means the features which comes with this belt are limited. Okay, so conveying of fluid material, okay, fluidized material is not possible in this belt conveyor, and we won't get feature loaded belt conveyor also, and it is also difficult to clean. Okay, because the belt length is too much, and it is we will find some points where we can't reach in belt conveyor, so it is also very difficult to clean and generally does not leave a very successful result in cleaning. Okay, and sticky material can stuck to the belt. Okay, and it can't be removed at the end. Okay, that is another problem in belt conveyor, that sticky material will get stuck to the belt. Okay, and that will means increase the weight of the belt. Okay, like it will work as a dead load. That is another disadvantages of material. Like sticky material we can't use, it is having very limited features, and the cleaning of the belt conveyor is very difficult. So thank you. Hopefully you understand what we have designed a belt conveyor today. Design of belt conveyor is easy topic and an important topic in food technology. So we will meet soon with next topic. Thank you.